Hi, welcome to another edition of Eating Sharp with Lynn Sharp. I'm your host, Lynn Sharp, and today I'm going to show you something nice and easy to make for your friends and family that will dazzle them at dessert time. Now, it is stone fruit season here in the valley, and nectarines and apricots and peaches, all those type of stone fruits are available, and they're really nice and juicy. Well, my neighbor has a nectarine tree, so I was able to get some nectarines. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting them up into just little slices like this. And we're just going to put them in a bowl. I have about 3 cups here. And what we're going to make is we're going to make a nectarine cobbler, but we're going to make it individual size. You know how most people make a cobbler, they put it in a big pan and they have tons of it left over. Well, this one, watch close because we're going to make it individual style so that you can just spoon them right out into the bowl and add some nice ice cream to it when it comes out of the oven. So what you're going to need is, of course, about 3 cups of nectarines. Now, depending on the size of the nectarine, you'll just have to eyeball it. I just, fill a bowl with diced nectarines because what I don't use here, I can macerate with a little sugar, let them juice down, and then I can pour some nice heavy cream or some half and half over it and have another dessert as well. Or you can put them in a bag and you can freeze them, and then you can make smoothies out of them, or you can put them in your cakes, and you can do a whole lot of different things with them. So we'll set those aside. Now, I've already got the oven on at 350 degrees because we want to bake them for about 30 to 40 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown on top. So if you haven't visited my website, you could do here. You'll get all my recipes and all my videos there. Also, I have a Facebook page, and you can visit me there as well. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we need a cup of sugar. Now, you can cut the sugar down just a little bit, but I wouldn't do it too much because the recipe just won't turn out. Then we have a cup of flour. We have a teaspoon of cinnamon and about an eighth to a fourth of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And this is going to give it that nice cobbler flavor. Now, you can also add a little ginger in there if you want. And I would do probably a fourth to an eighth. I'd do not too much ginger because it'll overpower it. Then I have a tablespoon of baking powder. Just going to add that in. And then we're just going to stir this to kind of get this mixed a little bit. Because you want that baking powder and the sugar and the cinnamon all to be mixed in together before you add your liquid to this. Now, this recipe has no eggs, so if you're allergic to eggs or you're trying to cut eggs out of your diet, this is a good way to do it. Okay? So we'll get that mixed together like that. We're going to add 3/4 a cup of milk. You can use skim milk. I like to use fat-free half and half. It just gives it a little bit of a better flavor. So that's why I use the half and half. And I cut back a little bit on the fat by using the fat-free. Now we're going to whisk this together, and it'll come out to be almost like a thick pancake batter. So just mix this together here. This is a Splenda whisk that I got at one of the shows that I went to last year. I got some products from Splenda, so I'm going to use that today. Okay, so you can see it's a little thick. It's almost like cake batter, okay? So next thing you want to do is I have my little muffin pans, and this actually is a muffin pan that my mother has used ever since I was growing up, and I was lucky enough to get all of her bakeware, so I'm going to use hers today. Now I have a 1 stick of butter, or a fourth of a cup of butter here, or excuse me, a half a cup of butter, and it's melted. And all you want to do is put about a tablespoon of butter right down into the muffin pan. Now you don't have to grease it, because this butter is going to do all the greasing for you. So we'll put this down in here. Now don't forget, you can do this recipe with apricots, you can do it with peaches, You can do it with white nectarines. And then I'm just going to go ahead and even out the butter because it's just a little bit too much for 1 tablespoon each. So just even it out equally in your muffin pan like this. This is going to kind of help with the sauce down in the bottom. It's a little crazy the way I'm going to do this, so take note, and you got to make sure you follow it the way I do it, or it's going to mess up. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you'll want to spoon in the batter. And yes, most recipes, you put the cobbler or the fruit down on the bottom and you put the batter on top. Well, this one, we're going to put the batter right in first. And you just want about a tablespoon in here because this batter really expands, and you don't want a mess in your oven when you do this. So put about a tablespoon. Heaping tablespoon is good. You can see I'm heaping them. They just go right down in here. You don't want to stir the butter in. You just want to let this daub down in there, and it'll form in the muffin pan as it bakes. So just go ahead and put it in there, like this. Just a couple more here, or one more, here we go. I have a little extra batter, but I don't think I'm going to use it because I don't want it to explode over the pan. Next, you'll want to add in your fruit. Now I have nectarines here. You can use any other fruit, stone fruit that you like. Just go ahead and put a spoonful right on top of the batter. Don't stir these in either. Just put the spoonful right down on there and just let them sit. They'll become a surprise when you bake them. What's going to happen is they're going to fall to the bottom. They're going to make a nice little gooey sauce and fruit down at the bottom. And then you're going to have the batter will rise up over the top of them. So let's get those in there like that. Okay, just like that. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to sprinkle some brown sugar on each one. So just sprinkle on, and don't be shy with the brown sugar. You just want to cover them up like this. Don't forget, if you haven't visited my website, it's right up here. You can get all my latest videos, recipes. There's a blog there. I do post to the blog, so you want to keep an eye on that as well. And we'll just finish this brown sugar up, just like this. This was about 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. You can use a little more or a little less if you're worried about the sugar. Okay, this is going to go down into the oven. It's a 350-degree oven, and it's going to bake about 30 to 40 minutes or until the top is nicely brown. So I'll put this in the oven, and we'll see you back here when I pull it out and we take it out of the pan and put some ice cream with it. So I'll see you back here in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. The cobbler has been in the oven for about 40 minutes. Let's pull it out and take a look at it and see how it looks. I have my Splenda hot pot holder. Oh, they're golden brown. Yes, they did go over a little bit. So you'll want to get the bigger muffin pans for this recipe because it seems that it just explodes. Okay, I've got a bowl here. Let's get one of these out of here nice and hot. Just like that. Ooh, the nectarines down in the bottom have made a nice little sauce with the brown sugar and nectarines. Let's get some ice cream on this, and let's try one nice and hot. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. You will want to let these cool for about 15-20 minutes before you try this. So if you're underage, make sure you have parent supervision. That is delicious. The nice crunchiness of the cobbler on the top and the juicy sweetness of the peaches and the buttery flavor. That is just going to be heaven. Let me have one more little bite here. Well, thank you for watching. And remember, this is Lynn Sharp with Eating Sharp. And it's all about the food. So next time you're having guests over, make sure you try this recipe with your guests. You can put this in while you're serving dinner and it'll bake. And as soon as you're done with dinner, you can pull this out of the oven, plop some nice ice cream on it, and serve it to your friends fresh out of the oven. So until next time, this is Lynn Sharp with Eating Sharp, and eat well.